everybody, it's Emily. Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to do a whip and chat today. Just a quick one before I go pick up the kids from daycare. So, how is everybody doing today? I hope things are going well. I'm going to be working on this project I showed in the last video of the angel wing. And it is an 80 by 40, so it's quite large. So I have it rolled up here at the bottom. So I mentioned my kids. I have a daughter who's 2 and a son who is 7. He just turned 7 in January. They go to daycare. Well, my son actually goes to before and after school daycare, but it's spring break right now, so he gets to just go and play and have fun with all of his friends. My daughter goes 2 days a week. It's sort of like preschool. It's run like a preschool. So she gets to play with her little friends and learn a little bit while she's there. So they both really love it. My son has been going to the same place since he was 1. As soon as he turned 12 months. Let's see if I can do a 3-placer. As soon as he turned 12 months, ooh, I did it. He started going there so that I could return to work. I don't know what it's like in other places of the world, but here in Canada, we get 12 months off of work when you have a baby. So I was lucky enough to spend the first year at home with him before having to return to work. So yes, it's been lovely. I'm not quite sure yet what I'm making for dinner. Last night we had pizza. We made it home and both of the kids ate it nicely, but that seems to be the only thing that my little one will eat lately. She won't try anything. She just looks at it, covers her mouth, and says, ew. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to make for dinner tonight. That seems to be a common problem for me lately, is trying to find something that she will eat. 1, 2, 3. So I was thinking about doing these sheet pan meals I've heard of. My husband used to do all the cooking, but he's gone back to work full-time. The last year he was off early. He was only working part-time due to COVID. His work, they didn't shut down. They just didn't have a lot of work, so they did lay some people off. My husband was lucky enough to keep his job, but just started working part-time, so he was home early enough that he would make dinner. So for the last year, I've been lucky enough to have that. And now it's sort of the baton has been passed again back to me. And I'm not really in the routine yet of making dinner. I don't love cooking. My husband enjoys it much more than I do. Oh, I see some. Oh, I just buried it. My husband enjoys cooking much more than I do, especially in the summertime when he can use a barbecue. So these sheet pan meals, I've heard that you just sort of cut up all your veggies. You can do potatoes or whatever, and then your meat, throw a marinade or something on there, and then just stick it in the oven, and it all cooks together at one temperature, and it's all done at the same time. So I think I might try that. Sounds much easier than, like I made spaghetti sauce the other day just for one meal. From start to finish. Goodness, it took me forever. And that was like enough for dinner and lunch the next day. And I feel like I could have been so much more efficient with my time in making something without as much energy. Like I don't mind making a pasta sauce or something on the weekend, but during the week, when I have my daughter at home, she doesn't really want me to be doing anything but playing with her, so it's hard to sort of explain to her. She's only 2. Sorry if you can hear that. My dog's playing with her noisy toy. Yeah, my daughter just wants to be playing all the time. And if I try to cook, she doesn't understand that the kitchen, there's things that are hot, and she likes looking at her reflection in the oven door. So that's not very helpful if it's on. I don't want her to get hurt. So if you have any ideas for meals that are kid-friendly and fairly quick, I would love for you to share them in the comments. You do the basic like chicken fingers and French fries, that sort of thing. We've even made our own French fries. We have an air fryer that I absolutely love, but we can't have that every day. So, I had mentioned work. I don't know, sort of jumping topics here, but in the next 2 weeks, I'm getting ready to go back to work. I was off for the last year with depression. I mentioned that in my first video, that I deal with depression and anxiety. So I'm just getting ready to go back now. I've had some wonderful doctors, and I feel like I've gained some skills and whatnot to be able to manage things a little bit better. Just checking. I like to do one strip at a time. So I'm just making sure I'm in there. So I'm a nurse. I work in psychiatry, actually. So I work with people who have mental health issues, which is sort of funny because I struggle with my mental health as well. So I like to think that I can offer support in a way that is a little more understanding. I've been in their shoes sometimes, especially when it comes to depression and anxiety. So I feel like I can offer a different perspective than maybe some nurses who haven't experienced that. So I'm getting ready to go back. I work in a hospital, so it's acute care, so people are really quite ill when they come to us. I'm a little bit anxious about going back, to be honest. It's not the work itself. I love doing what I do, but I don't know what healthcare is like in other parts of the world, but we don't always get the best supports. Sometimes we're working short-staffed. Sometimes they're trying to get us to take patients that we just aren't quite capable of managing. And it's hard to say no to a director. So I'm a little bit anxious about going back. And a good way that I've been dealing with my anxiety is by diamond painting. I find that I can just sort of sit here and let my mind drift off. I often in my head just repeat the symbol. I don't know what other people do. Talking and diamond painting at the same time is new for me. Well, I feel like I'm doing an all right job today. But normally I'd be like X, X, X as I'm placing each drill. So it's sort of like a meditation in a way, I guess. It's interesting. It's completely different than any other craft that I've done in that sense, that it's sort of like meditating. I've done so many other crafts, I feel like, in my lifetime. You name it, I've tried it. I did knitting. I haven't tried crochet, actually, so I can't say I've done all of the things. But I tried knitting, scrapbooking, card making, paper crafting. I just got rid of a whole bunch of supplies for making like hair accessories for girls. So I'm trying to clean out my craft room so that I have more room for diamond painting stuff. I think that I've committed to it with starting a channel, and with the amount of paintings I have bought recently, I will be diamond painting for a little while. So I figure I should clean up my craft room, make some extra room, or make some extra space. I don't have a huge room. It's actually just a little room down in the basement. There's a nice big window here, so it's actually quite nice during the day to be able to do diamond painting with the blinds open. It's nice and bright. So yeah, I've been trying to sell a bunch of my crafting stuff on Marketplace on Facebook. I don't know other areas where you sell stuff, but we have Craigslist used to be really popular, but I find not as many things are being sold there these days. So I just tried Marketplace, and I've sold some stuff, but I know things can be valuable, but they're only as valuable as people are willing to pay for it. So like I have this Xyron sticker making machine, so you can like draw a picture or take a piece of paper with whatever on it, and you sort of stick it in one end and you wind it through and it comes out the other end with a sticky back. And nobody wants to buy it. It's like in such good condition. I've had it for a while and haven't really used it a whole lot, but again, it's only as valuable as someone is willing to pay for it. And at this moment, that is $0. So I'm stuck with it. I have a whole bunch of crafting things that I know are valuable to the right person, but I just can't sell things right now. I don't know if people are sort of not wanting to go out and buy things, you know, with COVID, not wanting to leave the house or go to someone else's house. I've done a couple sales and I just sort of leave the item in a bag on the front doorstep, and then they just put the money under the mat and I don't even have to like come in contact with them. So I have no problem doing that, but maybe other people are still cautious about buying from other people right now. I have a Cricut machine. It's like one of the old school like models from years and years ago. Again, haven't used it in a long time, but it's sitting on my shelf. And I think now that Cricut has so many newer models since mine, that I don't even think it would be worthwhile to sell, because I don't think anybody would want it. I feel at this point I could probably give it away for free to somebody who doesn't mind using the cartridges. But finding that person takes time. So, like I said, I've tried so many different crafts. I was for a little while into rubber stamping and making cards and other paper crafts. And it was funny because when I started diamond painting and I started looking at the websites and everything, the paintings, I came across something by Lynn, and I thought, I know this art from somewhere. And it's funny because I have some rubber stamps. I think she used to do these before she did diamond paintings. I'm not sure if you can still buy these, but I've got a whole bunch that were by her, I believe. They're all so cute. This one has a little kitty cat with wings. This looks very much like, I think, one of the diamond paintings I saw. And then a couple more. I have a ton of them. But they are so pretty. They're so cute. But again, I'm not stamping anymore. So I have these sitting in a drawer. And I love her art. And I'm so glad that her stuff is being made into diamond paintings, and I would love to get one of them. But for now, I have these stamps sitting in a drawer. that I don't know that anybody really wants. Not anyone local to me, at least. So, like I said, I would love to get one of her diamond paintings. So, back to the kids. My daughter, she's home with me more. 3 days a week during the week. It's just her and I. And she gets super excited sometimes when her brother is around because she doesn't get to play with him all the time. So the other day she was playing. I was in the bathroom and all of a sudden I heard this yelling, and it was my son. And I was like, tried to quickly hurry up in the bathroom and come out, and he was crying, and he's like, Ella bit me. And I know she's 2 and that can sort of be the age that kids do that, but she is not a biter normally. She it's not something that she does regularly. And so I was so shocked, and it was on his back shoulder, and she broke the skin. Little bugger. Yeah, so he was really upset. She thought that everything was fine, and he's running away from her. She thinks that it's a game and it's funny, and she just, won't acknowledge that she hurt him. Well, just the other day, again, the whole family is home on the weekend, and I was sitting on the couch and everybody was playing around, and she bit me, and it was the same spot on my shoulder. It hurt so bad. So now I'm worried that my daughter is turning into a biter. She only goes to daycare 2 days a week, like I said, but I'm just waiting for the day they call me and say that she bit somebody. Not that it's funny, but I mean, for a kid that even when she was younger, she wasn't really much of a biter. And now all of a sudden in, 2 weeks, she did it twice. So she's a little troublemaker. It's weird because we have 5 years between the 2 kids. So we had my son, and for a couple of years, he was the only child, and he was so cautious and so careful about everything that he did that I just got used to it. That's what kids are like, right? I was a first-time mom, and things were going well. And then along comes my daughter, and she is just a terror. She does not listen to anything. She climbs on everything. She jumps. And, if you're there, you better catch her because she's not hesitating. And she just is completely different than my son. And it's been quite a challenge getting used to it. My mom laughs because apparently that's how I was when I was younger. So it's history repeating itself because me and my sister are 5 years apart. She's older than I am. And she was the good one when she was little and would just, sit there, and my mom could go do the laundry and come back, and she would still be sitting there watching her shows and everything. And then there was me who, this was back before the days of, attaching your furniture to the walls for safety. I had the dresser fall on me twice before I was like 5. Just a going concern, climbing, not being careful. And then all of a sudden, my mom said it's like deja vu. I have my first one, and he's so cautious and careful and didn't really get hurt much. And then 5 years later, I got my second one, which was, she's just a duplicate of me. So my mom says it's payback. Oh, dropped it. So it's sort of funny the way things work that way. But I love her, even though she's a a handful sometimes. She's still the cutest little thing. Everybody loves her. We just went, my grandfather just passed, and we're not supposed to get together in big groups or anything because of COVID, but a couple cousins and aunts and uncles, we got together. There were 10 people allowed to go in for the viewing, and I took the kids in with me. They didn't go to the viewing part, but and they were playing with their little cousins. Hold on, the dog's going crazy. Sorry about that. I'm home on my own, just with the dog, and she's getting confused as to why I'm talking to myself and not interacting with her. So my kids were playing with their little cousins and everything, and it was the first time that my cousins had met her, because a couple of them don't live locally. And she was just so outgoing. She was so cute with everybody. When it was time to go, I said, oh, go give your cousin a hug. So she goes over and gives everybody hugs, and then we left, and it was just such a good experience. Unfortunately, the circumstances weren't the greatest, but it was a good time, and I guess that's one time that I was thankful that she wasn't super shy and keeping to herself. My son is older now, so he was he's not quite as shy and hesitant as he was when he was much smaller. So I'm sure, well, I hope that you've seen my other unboxing video. If you check that out, Unboxing with My Son, he really wants to have his own YouTube channel, so he wanted to do an unboxing with me. So that was really cute. But when we were at my grandparents' house, he was running around he has an old camera that was my husband's before he got his new one. So he's running around pretending he's a YouTuber. And he's like laying on the floor and showing the living room around and showing his cousins. And then it was the cutest thing. It was time for dinner, and I came out and I saw him with his little cousin, and they were sitting at the dining table eating, but they were so close to each other. And I was like, what are you guys doing? Like, have some space here. You guys are like touching, your arm's almost in his food. And then I realized that they had the phone propped up in front of them, and they were like, but we need to both be in the shot. So they were filming themselves while they were sitting there eating their dinner. I'm not quite sure if they were talking or what kind of YouTube channel they're going to have, but sorry about that. The dog needed to go out. So yeah, my son wants to have YouTube, and apparently so does his little cousin. She's 7 as well. And so I was thinking, is that what kids nowadays are into? Like, everybody wants to have a YouTube channel? Because when I was 7, that is definitely, I wasn't thinking of, connecting with people all over the world. Not that there was any way we could at that time, but it's funny. I wonder if, his friends and other kids around his age do that as well. I know he watches a lot of YouTube. The big thing is watching other people play video games. So that's what he loves to do. Oh. He has some difficulties with his fine motor skills. So for him to play video games, it's not as enjoyable because he can't always play for very long. His hands get sore. And also the coordination of doing, like the joystick with one hand and then the buttons with the other hand, that can be difficult for him. So he knows all about the games that are popular and he watches people play them, but other than Minecraft, he doesn't play the video games himself. He does, however, like the little bit of independence that he's gained now that he's 7. I mean, probably for the last year or so. No parent judgment here, but we have our living room and kitchen and everything on one level, and then the bedrooms are upstairs. And so for the last year or so, I've been letting him go upstairs and play in his room on his own. And I would have the little one down in the playroom, living room area, so that I can see her and everything. And he just thought that was the coolest thing because he was allowed to go up on his own and do that. So he's starting to think that he's a big kid. And, you know, we have, it's so funny, the cutlery that we have, you know, sometimes they have like the plastic handles for like kids. So now it's his chore to set the table, but he always tells me to when I get the forks ready, he's like, I want a big fork. You know, he can't have the little kid one anymore. His sister can, but he wants to have a big adult fork or spoon, whatever he's using. So that's funny. Right, so it's spring break. He's at daycare playing, having a great time. But the weird thing is that he was going to one school and before spring break, and then this new school is opening over spring break. So when he goes back, he's actually going to a different school. So they've had their last day at their school, at their old one, and we only have a couple months left. So it's weird that they're doing that, but he's going to go to a new school, brand new, newly built, beautiful. Apparently the doors slide open to the classroom. They have an outdoor learning classroom, new and high tech education. So that'll be fun for him. And my daughter will just continue going to her preschool daycare thing. She loves it. The daycare has an app. It's not like an at-home daycare or anything. It's like a big facility. And they have an app that they share with you what's happened each day. So she's still in diapers. So they will, let me know when they change her, if they put cream on her bum, things like that. So that's always good to know. But they also send us pictures. And it's really cute because the other day she was in this like tube thing. Oh, that was a bummer. She was crawling through this tube thing with like this stuffy, and it just was the cutest thing ever. And I love that they do that. We used those pictures actually before my daughter was born. We used the daycare pictures of my son on our Christmas card just as an update to show the rest of the family how everybody's doing and show the different activities that he was doing at school. It was really neat. So I've been working on this angel wing for quite a while now. I don't get to sit for hours at a time or anything, so I do like maybe an hour here and there a couple times a week. So it's probably taken me longer than it would if I had more sit down time. But I'm starting to get a little bit bored of it. I feel like it's the same colors. Like if you look, there's a lot of similar colors. Like over here, I hope you can see, they're dark colors, but it just feels like the same thing. I don't have, like, there's a wing or there's a feather and another feather, but they're all the same color. I don't feel like excited about get to the next part. I can't wait to do, the hair or the eyes or, whatever details might be. So I've done some unboxings. I've gotten some more paintings in. So I've started to contemplate whether I should put this one aside and start one of the smaller canvases that I have, just to sort of get the juices flowing again, just to get excited about something, because I feel like these are all neutral tones. Same thing. A lot of confetti, so I'm not really getting a big section done at a time. So I was thinking about doing that. Just to change it up a little bit. Let me know what you do in the comments. Do you start a project and finish it? Or do you have two on the go, sort of switching back and forth to keep things interesting? This is my first big one, so I think that is probably why. I did 2 smaller ones before this, and I finished them in a decent amount of time, and it was exciting. It felt like I accomplished something. I did it. And then I have this one, and it's like, oh, I'm a quarter of a way through. Oh, I finally hit halfway, and then it's like, oh, I have the whole other half to go. So I know it's going to be beautiful when it's done. I like the painting. I'm just sort of getting bored of working on it. So I'm not quite sure what to do about that. I don't want to have too much stuff on the go, but it might just bring my interest back. Well, I think it's time for me to go pick up the kids, go get my Starbucks coffee, and get ready for the evening, cook some dinner, and get ready to play. So thank you very much for joining me. This was my first Wip and Chat. I hope to learn from it and make them better in the future. But if you're stuck around till the end, thank you very much for the support. So I look forward to chatting again sometime. Thank you.